enjoy. So hi, I am coming to you from a super hot DC. We are expecting about 100 Fahrenheit degrees this weekend, and I am kind of melting here, longing for jeans and home knitted cardigans. And I just had to stop myself from continuing knitting on my latest project to come and talk to you guys. So yay, knitting mojo going strong here. I hope you feel the same. Do you guys still knit, or everybody out just hunting Pokemons? Well, if you're still there, yeah, otherwise I guess you won't see this. Anyway, so I have finished projects, new projects, ongoing projects, new stuff, everything for you. So we better just get started. Okay, first, finished objects. I have two, or, well, it's four, but, you know, it's socks. So 2 pairs. First, I have these. This is the Paper Moon pattern, and it's a pair of socks for my friend. I made it has a cable stitch pattern and some regular knitting. It's a regular heel, no pattern on the bottom. I kind of did as the pattern said. I made a straight toe because her feet or her toes are a little bit straighter than mine. So you can, I will show you the difference with the other pair that is for me. Regular, kept the ribbing up, or the cabling up on the cuff, because why should a cuff be boring? I feel a bit the same with the toes. Maybe I should have started not cabling, but this part of the pattern already on the toe. At least she seemed to be super excited. She's tried them on before they were completely finished, and I think she was honestly super excited about them. She's also a knitter, and she had lots of extra yarn, so I got the yarn from her. It's a discontinued yarn from Joann's called Souls and More, and I think the color is called something like dark blue, light blue, red. Very exciting. Oh yeah, but it was cheap. It was on sale, and it's from Joann's. So first finished socks of today, Paper Moon socks, free pattern on Ravelry, really cutesy, and on the example picture they are knit up in a lovely orange. Next project, also socks, but for me. Socks that have been long overdue. This is my fine and dandy socks. Looking good. Waffle on the heel flap. Just regular 2x2 rib top. And then this lovely flower stitch pattern here. I knitted both these pair of socks on Magic Loop, toe up Magic Loop, which is my new, and also 2 at a time, which is my new favorite way of knitting socks, 2 at a time. But here, on the side, when you do the flowers on the side, it was kind of messy with the Magic Loop 2 at a time thing, because you're really supposed to just move a couple of stitches. Well, let's just say it was not the most convenient, but I think it was totally worth it to knit it 2 at a time, because otherwise I need to remember how much I did of each. Yarn is Malabrigo sock yarn, color Playa, and the contrast color is from Knit Picks. They're gloss, a little bit more luxury than usual sock yarn, but I like how these colors go together, and I don't want to use this yarn for something. Colorway is Masala, and when I ordered it I thought it would be more orange, but it's more brownish, and now I finally found something to do with it. So yeah, and here is the toe. Can you see? It's quite asymmetrical. Yeah, the slope is different on the different sides, because my toes, they are more shaped like this. So these socks are for me. I think this is my 6th pair for this year for me that actually fits, and I hope to do 12 this year. We'll see how it goes. When I start commuting again by fall, maybe socks will be my go-to project when it comes to commute knitting. So, yay! 2nd pair of socks, 2nd finished up project. Fine and dandy socks. Oh, and also, this pattern is super cheap. It's like $1 Australian, which is like 70, 80 cents or something, which is, yeah, well, please do the math to your currency. It's at least cheap, and all money goes to charity. So even if you feel like you maybe can figure this out yourself, or if you feel like you don't want to pay for sock pattern, which I totally understand because there are lots of good cheap or free sock patterns out there, if you like it and want knitted, I can recommend that you buy it. So, good cause. And, oh, I remember, I actually have a partly finished object more, or works in progress. It's always hard to say, but it's for my blanket, my granny square blanket. I made 4 new squares. I got so excited when I had all these finished socks in fingering weight yarn, so I decided to knit up some squares. They are not blocked yet, but they are finished. So first square, you can see the yarn is, this is from my Fine Dandy sock, these 2 ones are from my Paper Moon socks, and this is from another just a grey yarn that I had left over. Here is also, this one is Fine and Dandy sock, and this is Fine and Dandy sock, the middle one, the blue one here, the brown one. The grey is the same greys, and this one, when I finished these 4 squares, I was out of the light grey, so I'm happy. And this is also an old Knit Picks straw sock yarn. Here, some grey, and some other and the other yarn is actually one yarn, same brand as the Paper Moon socks, soles and more from Joann's, but another colorway. I think this one is called turquoise, orange and purple or something like that. Again, very exciting names of their colorways. And the last one. Outermost round is same Joann yarn as the last one. The grey one here, you've seen it before, and then there is some Malabrigo Playa. I was surprised how ungreat the Malabrigo sock yarn felt. It was not bad, it was just, maybe it's been too hyped. It was okay. I was just not that excited about it. Maybe Malabrigo's other yarns are better. I just was not a fan. Yeah, but it's personal. So that was all the finished objects I had, which was more than in a long time. Let's move on to works in progress, where I also have stuff to show. Yay! Well, let's start with the least exciting. The first work in progress is a hibernating thing you've seen before, but it was some time since. It is my Gudrun mittens. So if you remember, I made one full mitten. It was too long and I was not super happy with the color work. As we discussed before, color work is a little bit trickier and I haven't mastered yet. Sometimes especially if I rush, I feel like I think, oh, I got this, and then it's getting bubbly. I always have to concentrate to leave enough length on the floatings on the backside. But don't want to leave too much, it should just be a good amount. But my problem when I feel like I have to stand and I know it and I'm knitting on and I'm knitting too fast and I'm pulling them too tight. So here is my second mitten. I will probably unravel the other one because I want to move the thumb up because I had too much space in the top of my fingers. The mitten was too long. Well, if I move the thumb higher up, of course it will be the same length of the mitten, but more of the length will be on my arm, which will be good in the cold winter, warming up my wrists. Yeah, these mittens, it's a paid for pattern. Ravelry is the Swedish design, and it's kind of feminist. What do you mean kind of? It has a huge feminist pattern, a mark on the front of the hand, and it have small feminist or small feminine marks as decorations. So here I started. Maybe you can see there are small crosses this far. So the yarn is Knit Picks Palette, and it's, I think, mist and some sea foam, sea fair, something like that. You can find all the details on my Ravelry page. I am quite good with logging yarn, and I try to put in if I do any corrections or alternations to the pattern, not corrections, but alternations to the pattern and stuff like that. so you can always see there. And usually, sometimes I put up pictures of the process. At least I used to put up a picture when the project is finished, so you can see there. Yeah, and I hope this will be my new relax knitting, because my next project is a new one. It's a new technique, and it's a little bit more complicated. It's brioche. So this is my start of my brioche knitting. It's the Sizzle Pop shawl, and I have these two colors. Oh yeah, this is a magenta hot pink. It's not as red as it shows up, and this shows up pretty well. It has some sparks of neon colors in here, pink and some blue, purple. I'll let you know details of these yarns next time, because I don't have the notes with me here. I bought these yarns when I were at... Oh, I dropped a stitch here. Anyway, I bought these yarns when I went to Maryland Sheep and Wool Festival, and I finally got them bought up and cast on this project. This is my first brioche, and this is a swatch that there are instructions for in the pattern. Thanks God there is instructions for a swatch where I can also practice my brioche skills, which were until this morning non-existing. I just realized I dropped a stitch here, so probably I'll have to unravel these like 5 rows, which equals 10 rows in brioche, because you need every row twice, once with each color. But hey, practice makes perfect. And I probably also have to print this pattern. Usually I just have the pattern on the computer, depending a little bit on how complicated it is. But in this case, I want to have the instructions for and how to read out but I want to have the legend for, or how to read out the abbreviations of the pattern. Well, it's not brioche. Well, I understand this far. It's not that much more complicated technically than knit 2 together, yarn over, purl knit, you know. But the problem is that all the abbreviations is different, and you need to keep track on if you are knitting, if 1 stitch is 2 stitches, and well, it's a little bit of a challenge, but not impossible, and I'm really excited about this. And what I can feel from the small piece of fabric I've actually created here, it feels very soft and smooshy. So this is a shawl. Oh no, this is a small piece of a swatch, but it will become a shawl eventually. There are lots of good tutorials out there to explain how to do brioche, so I'm confident that maybe after a few tries I will have a lovely squishy brioche shawl. And I really like how these colors come together. This is a paper pattern, but as I said, it's this far I'm really happy with how it's written out. Well, I'm happy because it has a test swatch that I can do. Well, one of you said that you'd never knitted a shawl, commented on one of the posts and knitted a shawl, and asked me if I had any suggestions on a shawl to start with. Shawls are not that hard. They just take some time because you want them to be bigger. And it's usually same old. So it depends a little bit on if you have done. First of all, choose a shawl that you like the look of, that you want to, both that you're excited while you're knitting it, but also because you want to wear it, like you like how it looks. Usually finger weight, I guess that's confident. I really like knitting with lace weight, and one of my first shawls were in a lace weight yarn, and it worked fine. It's nice to knit with too. Choose a yarn that you like and a pattern that you like. And if you're really confident with lace knitting, choose a more complicated pattern. And if you are less confident with lace knitting, choose a less complicated pattern. My first pattern is also a free pattern on Ravelry. It's called Romilda's shawl. I knitted it in a lace weight yarn that is on a bigger needle, but you can also knit it on, I think the suggested yarn is fingering weight, and yeah, you will get a more dense fabric, but it depends on what look you're after. It has a very simple eyelet pattern that comes in these shapes. What are they called? You know what I mean. And they go together, and it's a triangular shawl So, and this shawl is knitted from the tip and up to the long side. A lot of other shawls are knitted from, you cast on a few stitches, but that will be the middle of the upper edge if you have a triangular shawl, and then you knit out like this. But this Romanda shawl, it's a few stitches and then you knit up to get a triangle. Remember to bind off loosely, looser than you think. Use a really stretchy, loose bind off. Yeah, and then I think you'll be fine. Enjoy shawl knitting and prepare that it might take a little bit more time than knitting a pot holder or something. But I guess you're aware. And even if it can take some time to knit a shawl, especially if you do brioche, still I am comforting myself with knowing that knitting a blanket will be even slower. So I hope you are daring to try new things if you like it, and if you want to knit a shawl, go ahead and do it. As I used to say, knitting, it's only knitting. If it goes wrong, you can always unravel, like I will do with this as soon as I finished recording. I think that was all I had in ongoing projects, but I have new stuff and upcoming. So yes, because I were in New York last week. Yeah, I visited some yarn stores. I did other stuff too. It was really cool. I love New York. It's way cooler than DC. It's more expensive too, because new museums are like $20-$25 rather than free. Anyway, yarn. Let's just move on to some new stuff. In New York, I visited 3 yarn stores and I tried to visit a 4th one, but they were on a vacation. First, I visited Knitty City, and it was really cool yarn store, very cozy, lots of different yarns, really sweet people working there, had a nice time, and I found some yarn on sale. This is a teal color. It's more green than it turns out on screen. It's a lace weight yarn. Luckily they could ball it up for me, because it's 100-gram lace weight. I think it's 1,000 meters, 1,000 yards or something. And I don't even have a ball mine. I don't have a ball mine or this. Yeah, so thankfully they balled it up for me. The yarn is called Scrumptious. So this will probably be a shawl or maybe 2 shawls. I just haven't decided yet, but I like knitting in lace weight. It was on sale, so I got 40% off. A bargain. And then I discussed a little bit with them, because I wanted to knit a sweater. I've only knitted cardigans before, but I want to knit a sweater, but all sweaters I like that I've seen are in worsted, but I wanted something lighter to go with my wardrobe, since I knitted a quite heavy worsted cardigan. Worsted weight, it's warm, and a cardigan you can have it open and it will be okay, but a sweater, and I wasn't sure what I wanted. So, but I got this yarn. Then I went to Purl Soho. I heard so much about them, and I've of course seen their patterns and projects online. So I went there, I talked to a lady, and I discussed that they had one of their cardigans that is a free pattern on their website, a very simple cardigan. They had it knitted up there, and I liked how the fabric felt, so I got some yarn. And I hopefully will knit a cardigan out of this, because I got not 1, but 4 of these. In a very nice mustardy yellow. Yeah, I should maybe tell you, it's Purl Soho linen quill, so it's also their own yarn, something I probably can't get my hands on in Europe. At least it feels more fun to buy it at the store. So this is a 50% wool, 35% alpaca, and 15% linen, which I think will make a nice but not too hot cardigan. I also have some other plans for the pattern, but I talk about that in upcoming. I also visited Downtown Yarns, but I was not super excited with what they had, maybe because I already visited 2 different yarn stores and I got some yarn, and a lot of people describe them as eclectic, and maybe that's a right description, maybe just not what I like. So maybe the yarns felt too odd for me. So, well, they were sweet enough. I didn't find anything I liked. Well, and then I also tried to visit B&E Yarns on Brooklyn, because it was not that far away from where we stayed. But they were closed, so they had a note saying, hey, we're on vacation while you are visiting New York. No, it said we're on vacation 11th till 25th of July, but still, it was exactly the time when I went to New York. It came 11th and I left about a week later, so good for them that they can have vacation though. That was great. Yay. Well, now on to upcoming, and I can tell you what I want to do with this yarn. Purl Soho has a pattern for a very simple cardigan that they suggest for this to knit up in this yarn, and they had a sample there, and I really like the fabric that it was, so therefore I decided to go with this yarn. But it's a little bit boring to knit something that is just plain. I wanted something more excited. And I looked around and I saw several cardigans with a lace panel around the arm, among others Locatelli's Japanese sleeves. But I didn't like her construction. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to knit with looking at the pattern from Purl Soho. I will knit a cardigan, but then I will incorporate a lace panel on the sleeve with a lotus flower lace pattern that I found online. My major issue with her pattern is that I have to knit the lace panels not directly on the sleeve, but you knit them separately, and then you pick up stitches along the edge. And I was like, I'm not picking up that many stitches. I think it's annoying when I have to pick up stitches to make a button band. That would not work for me. That is my plan. But maybe I should get along with my brioche first, so that I can actually have it flowing before I start with this. Also, I have an issue with my needles, because I always want to knit with size 4. I just finished my dew shawl is with size 4, and then the new brioche shawl is with size 4, and this also suggests size 4. So I should probably just get another set of needles size 4 to have interchangeable needles, and I can use other cables. I also been thinking about starting something in cotton, because I think it would be knitting in cotton seems so nice for lighter garments. But I thought maybe a lot of people also say that cotton, because it's so unelastic, it hurts their wrists more than regular knitting, and it would be good to try out if that is the case for me. So I'm thinking maybe I should try a smaller project in cotton before I start like a shirt or something. But I can't really decide on what, because it's not really like you knit a hat or a pair of mittens in cotton, is it? Do you have any suggestions? Also, I have to ask you guys another thing. For this blanket, my granny square blanket, I will use a black yarn to join all these squares together. My problem is that I have no idea how much yarn I would need. So how much yarn do you think I need to join these squares? I mean, there will be more of them, but say, how do I know how much yarn I need for this? Do you have any idea on how to roughly estimate how much yarn do I need to join these granny squares into a granny square blanket? I am really appreciative of all your comments and emails, both here on YouTube and on Ravelry. Please feel free to chat with each other and ask questions. Thank you for watching. That was everything I had for today, and so take care. Happy knitting. Bye!